right, welcome back to episode 45 of the Hops and Bops podcast. I am producer Tom.
And I'm Mike. I'm not used to going second.
I know, right? It's weird.
I always go third.
Joe's on a bit of a vacation right now, so it's just me and Mike for today, and we've got a couple shorter episodes. Yes. Well, I mean...
EP series.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how long it's going to be. We haven't recorded it
this
yet.
Is true. We assume.
Yes, we assume.
We're pre-assuming.
Yes. So we have brought... Mike has picked out a Halestorm EP called... where'd it go?
One and Done.
One and Done. It's a live EP from 2006. Only 20 minutes in length. Exactly 20 minutes. 5 songs. And he's also brought 𝙃𝙚𝙖𝙙𝙏 by the Alchemist out of Vermont.
Yes. Visited there this last week.
Mm-hmm.
On Thursday. Me and Trevor from the Kill Switch episode a little while back. And he was on the Rush one, wasn't he?
Yes, he was.
Hung around for Rush. So we went up to Hike Mountains, Mansfield, which is the highest peak in Vermont, about 4,380, about 4,400 feet.
Okay.
Went up. It was awesome. On the way down, decided to take a couple side trails.
Mm-hmm.
Ended up realizing we took probably one of the hardest trails on the mountain. We had to literally climb on our hands and like all fours to climb down the side.
Yeah, the double black diamond.
Yeah, we ended up having to like throw our bags through and crawl through a cave to get to the other side, and that was part of the trail.
It's kind of cool, though.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
We just didn't, in our heads, we weren't ready for it because we didn't know we were going to do that.
Yeah.
So when we were done, we were like, all right, straight to the Alchemist.
Yep.
We're like, we're up here. It's 20 minutes away. So we drove around the mountain and stopped at the Alchemist. And unfortunately, their tap room was closed.
Oh.
I think they're renovating.
Okay.
And COVID didn't help with the tap room was closed for a while. But we stopped and we grabbed a couple 4-packs of 𝙃𝙚𝙖𝙙𝙏.
Okay.
Nice little double IPA here.
Yeah.
And then we, that's like their primary beer they're known for.
𝙃𝙚𝙖𝙙𝙏.
Is 𝙃𝙚𝙖𝙙𝙏.
It just says ale. It doesn't say anything else about it.
Okay.
I mean, there's more on the back. It talks about it.
I'm
sure the website says a fair bit too.
Yeah.
On the side of the can, it just says 𝙃𝙚𝙖𝙙𝙏's American Double IPA. This beer is not intended to be the biggest or most bitter. Also, I should mention we're recording outside today. If you hear any wildlife or any cicadas or anything, we're poolside by Mike's house.
just chilling out on the deck.
Yep.
It's an American Double Indian Pale Ale.
Okay.
So, nice little double IPA. Pretty much what you're reading is what the site says. Not the biggest or most bitter. It's meant to give you a wave of hoppy goodness on your palate. It is a very hoppy beer.
Okay.
When we went, we actually had I think it was a Hefeweizen and
oh yeah, my dad likes Hefeweizen.
And then we had another. Me and Trevor each got something different because usually when you see the Alchemist, you see 𝙃𝙚𝙖𝙙𝙏, and that's what you get.
It's like the staple.
Yeah,
flagship.
so we each tried a different beer. We split them. Really no food there. They did give you a free bag of pretzels with your beer.
Oh,
that was pretty nice.
That's nice.
It was good post-hike. We were hungry.
There you go.
And then, it was outside. There was a little, like, kind of folky band playing.
Okay.
It was pretty cool. Yeah, we'll crack it. And really cool area. Big outside, like, beer garden kind of setup.
Cool.
With a bar that you just went up, you ordered your beer, and then you walked around and enjoyed it. So
cool.
It was a cool place to finally get to go and be in person.
Awesome. Now, it does say on the top of the can, drink from the can, all the way around the top of it.
Yeah.
So I think we'll save a little bit in the can in case it
it
tastes different, but we are going to pour it into our plastic the solo cups that are very...
Non-disposable
Yes.
solo cups is
yes.
what they are.
Save the earth. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I got a green one, a blue one, and a red one.
They're a little...
one of each,
a little stained, but it's okay.
Yeah, I poured a lot of... little too much head on mine.
Oh, you didn't pour on the side?
That's all right.
Yeah, it's okay.
It is heady top.
That makes sense, when you put it like that.
Cheers.
So cheers. Cheers. Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You taste the old double IPA. It's got a very distinct taste.
Yes. Yeah.
From a lot of other double IPAs we've had.
Oh yeah, that hits the mouth in a. It's not. I don't want to say it's bad because it's not. It just
strong.
came. Yeah, it's strong. It's strong. That's
it is.
Kind of
And like they say, a wave of hoppy goodness.
8%. Okay.
Yeah. So it's a higher volume IPA. It's available year round.
Okay.
Like I said, you can pick it up at a lot of big package stores.
Yeah.
So it's definitely available.
Yeah, it's not like local to Vermont.
Yeah, yep, no, it's available. They were actually selling it at like gas stations and stuff.
Oh, wow.
Which was kind of interesting.
Up there?
Up there, yeah.
Okay.
We stopped at a gas station quick, and they were like selling it in like little convenience stores and stuff. So it's like everywhere up there.
Okay, it's like their 2 roads or something.
Yeah, but I just figured it was I had it in the fridge, and we decided to make a slight adjustment to our recording schedule.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? No better. I was just there. I could talk about the venue a little bit. It was a really cool place to be. You know, only thing I think because the tap room was closed, I'm not really sure if they do food and all that. You know, that's obviously the new thing now is all these places have food because of COVID.
Yeah.
But they didn't
serve food because of that.
Yeah, but it was just a cool outside. I wish I could have seen the inside, but I think they were doing private tours. It wasn't open to the public.
Okay.
But we were so shot from hiking and all that. It was like we had to stop there while we were up there. You know, we weren't going to stay for 3 or 4 beers. Like, we needed food. We wanted to get out.
Exactly,
so,
yeah.
But it was just to experience and check the place out. And it's definitely a place I'd go back to, for sure.
Yeah. No, I do want to try it from the can now, because it's a very hoppy beer. Yeah, you can definitely taste it. It's a bit colder. That's just because I think the can is a little bit colder, but I don't really taste a huge difference.
No, I'm not noticing. You know, we drank a couple of them, you know, when we got back. And
but it does have
definitely not noticing.
It has beautiful can art too.
Yeah, they've had that for a long time too. It's a cool little. Again,
you'll see in the picture, but
we've talked about it a bunch that the with these craft breweries, you know, that's kind of you've never heard of some of them, so you're going strictly off the can.
Yeah.
You know, and
so don't judge a book by its cover thing, but you kind of have to.
But it's the opposite. Yeah.
Exactly.
So
sometimes I'll pick a beer just because of what it looks like, you know, and especially with pairing things with albums too. That brings a lot of that's like a whole different thing.
Yep. I mean, one of my favorite sours was that one from Abomination.
Yeah.
And I strictly picked it because it was a sour and I liked the can.
Yeah. And it turns out it was delicious.
Great. Yeah, I loved it. So that's pretty. It's cool how that's, you know.
Yeah.
That's kind of their thing, but the Alchemist, definitely. You ever up in Stowe, Vermont? Check that place out.
Stowe, Vermont. Okay.
Yeah, a lot of cool hikes up there, and just woods and for days, and it's
a lot of activities.
Nice place to be.
Cool. Yeah, you can go check out the tap room when it's open too.
Yeah, I want to do that.
Yeah.
And then the album I'm bringing.
Yes.
So when we talked to Joe and found out he was on a mini vacation, me and Thomas decided to switch things up and do a little 2-episode EP series.
Yes. You'll get the torture episode with the Nickelback soon.
Yes, that's definitely
we got to spread the torture around between all of us. We can't just have it between us two.
No, the two can't handle that.
No, that's too much.
The EP that I picked is, probably one of the first EPs that I really ever like. I don't even know if the CD still works. Yeah, I listen to it so much.
Cool.
And it's definitely not for its recording quality.
Yeah, you mentioned that to me before we started.
I gave you a little heads up on that one. However, the music itself is just, you kind of have to look past the grungy, the rawness, and listen to the music and the musicians and, you know, the songwriting for these few songs, and then to see where they are. I mean, Halestorm opened for Shinedown back in 2000 and I want to say 6.
Okay, that's when this came out.
Yep. And they were signed by Atlantic Records that year, which Shinedown is part of Atlantic Records.
Yep.
So they became the opening act for Shinedown.
Okay.
And so I went to go see Shinedown at the Webster Theater in Hartford, and these guys opened. And I've always been a fan of going. If I'm going to a show and the doors open at 5 and the first band goes on at 6, I want to be there for that band.
Yeah.
Sometimes those beginning bands end up being like the best bands that you see.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're shit. I've been to both.
Yeah. You gotta get both.
Halestorm actually absolutely blew the fucking doors off this place. Just so energetic. So many cool things that they did. You hear in this first track, It's Not You. That was actually their first major single.
Okay.
Off of their 2009 release.
Okay.
Some lyrics are changed. Obviously, recording-wise, it's refined and recorded really, really well for an album. But this is like their big song.
Okay.
And that is exactly how they opened the show, is how this EP opens.
Okay.
She walked, there was nothing. Black stage, lights off, and all you heard was her singing that initial note and holding it for that long. And it's dark. And then all of a sudden the lights came on with the "It's not dun 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 dun," you know, and just that fucking guitar being so like crunchy and just not necessarily good, but for that it just came in so heavy.
Yeah.
And then you've got her voice. It's all, you know, you could tell that she's just belting it out and tearing her voice apart during the show. You know what I mean? Like how she sings the way she sings sometimes. I'm like, if you hear my voice right now, I'm not 100%. I had an acoustic show Friday and an electric show Saturday, and I couldn't talk all day Sunday, and I'm still hurting today. She's screaming like that every night.
Yeah,
I just don't get it.
That's one thing that immediately stood out when I listened to this, was her voice, was definitely the defining characteristic of the whole band. It's
Yes. Yeah. Yep.
Especially later in the album, too, when you get to, like, what was it, Takes My Life? I'm jumping around a bit.
Yeah.
She hits that one note at the end, it, like, starts kind of screamy and then gets really, really, like...
Oh, powerful.
It's like, oh my God.
She's so good.
But,
yeah, and really, if I pull up, I'm trying to think right now, their debut album.
Oh, I got them up here. What was it? Just
Halestorm.
Yeah.
And when their debut album came out, I want to say that the only song off of that EP that made the debut album is "It's Not You."
I think so. Yeah.
Which kind of sucks because some of the songs in here are really good. Like, I like all the songs. I think they're all written well. I don't think there's really like a skippable bad song. Like I'd say, oh, this song's terrible. No,
well, it's hard to have a skippable song when it's only 20 minutes.
Exactly.
You know? Yeah. 5 tracks.
Yep. But like one of my favorites was "Blue Eyes" later on.
Yeah.
I just thought it was a great song, and I'm like, wow, that never made an album. I was kind of surprised by that.
Yeah.
You know, but "It's Not You," just a great way. Again, this album is really just them playing a show.
Pretty much, yeah.
So you can't look at the track listing, in my opinion, and be like, oh, it was a great start and a great... Live and an album are two different things.
Exactly,
This is... You got to look at this and say, yeah, that was a great opener because live, that was a great opener.
Exactly, yeah.
You know?
Do you know where they performed this?
That I don't. Yes, Philly.
Philly,
No?
okay.
No, I'm sorry. No, that's their live album was in Philly. I don't know. And actually, to be honest, "It's Not You" was their second single. I'm sorry. "I Get Off" was the first single off of the first album. And then "It's Not You" was the second single. But it's the only overlap. You'll also hear from Halestorm, there's a few things before this album.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at right now.
So they started off when they were 10 and 13, respectively. So the singer and the drummer are brothers and sister.
Yeah.
So Lizzie Hale and then RJ Hale.
Okay.
And then if you look, there was I think it was a Robert Hale is listed as a previous member.
Yep.
That was their father.
Okay.
So until they got their current bassist, their father did bass for them.
Oh, wow.
So a very musically inclined family.
Okay.
But the 4 members that are in it right now are like the 4 main members. They had a couple other people in and out, but these are like the 4 main guys. Lizzie Hale, RJ Hale, Joe Hottinger, Josh Smith.
Okay.
So they're a pretty, tight band all together. It was cool the first time I saw them. Part of this show, they actually pulled out a floor tom and they all played like drums for one song.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, like almost like a tribal kind of thing out there. It was really cool.
Wow.
They have a very good energy as a whole.
Yeah.
And I will say the coolest thing about this EP, again, I waited 3 years for the debut album. So in 2006, this came out. I saw them live. I bought it from them. I actually they autographed it. I have it in the basement, and you know, one of my like starstruck moments, I actually got to hug Lzzy Hale after they signed it. I bought it. They signed it. She gave me a big hug. I'm like 16 years old at the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it was like, oh my God.
Yep.
And I'd never known who she was prior to this, but I was like, they were so good. And I was like, oh yeah, it was really, really cool.
That's cool.
To see a Grammy nominated band.
Yeah.
And I actually got to hug her, got their autograph, and met them before they were even had an album. It's like a cool process.
That is really cool.
You know, I feel like they can put out some okay albums and I'd still listen just because of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're one of those bands for me.
Yeah. The hand comes up after this. I enjoyed this one. This was a good one.
I like that. Da-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na, you know, to open up.
She has a very like, I don't know how else to describe it, but a very like that kind of like
little Pearl Jam-ish.
Yeah, a
like
little bit. Yeah.
Eddie Vedder-ish, but a little clearer.
Exactly.
I can see what you're saying.
Yeah.
She's definitely refined her voice. If you listen to a lot of the newer stuff, she's got a little more of like, you can tell it's cleaner recorded. It's you know, a little bit more refined.
Yeah.
You can find a lot of things on YouTube. Like they did a cover of what's that song by Jay-Z, New York.
Empire State of Mind.
Empire State of Mind. They did a cover of that, which was really cool. There's a version of her doing Little Big Town. What's their big? Yeah, it's like a country single. Like, but she does a great cover of that. They actually have 3 cover EPs. You know, I'll be honest, they softened up a little bit as they got a little bit more into the pop light.
Yeah,
you know, the spotlight with that. They're not as grungy as they were with songs like this, which is probably why these songs didn't quite make the cut. But it's too bad because I think they could have refined these songs and they would have been really cool songs to have on the album.
Yeah.
You know, I could understand an EP not taking all 6 of them, or all 5 of them, sorry, but you know, taking at least 2 or 3.
Yeah.
But because like this song, I think if you could play the hand with a nice, deep, well-recorded drum, like, you know, and then throw in that really clean, crunchy guitar, like this would be a great song on an album.
Yeah. No, I enjoy this one a lot.
But
I feel like this album absolutely would have benefited from having even just regular mixing, just like in general. But like I literally
feel like they took a microphone, put it on stage, and then just like
put the album out.
Yeah. And maybe it says this was off Atlantic, which surprises me a little bit that it's so like raw. You know, because Atlantic's a major recording company.
Yeah.
I don't know if this was recorded prior to, and then they just, when they got signed, sold the, you know.
Yeah.
Because I don't think they would have been signed in 2006 and then put out an EP. You know what I mean? Like bang, bang, bang.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. It's a strange kind of. There's not a ton of information on it.
But yeah, going back to your point on like why these weren't on their debut or anything. They have a 10th anniversary edition of their debut album where they have a bunch of basement demos for 2006. And even then, none of them from this album are on there either. Unless, what's that? Not for today. No. None of them are on that either. I don't understand why. They just kind of put this in the back. Makes no sense. But, you know, it is what it is.
Yeah. So then the next one comes up, Show Me.
Yeah. I like how she says I love you to like every other track. She's like, thank you guys so much. We love you so much. She's so very kind of everyone.
Yeah, I love the opening vocals here. She's got that like just like falsetto kind of.
This one starts up real slow.
Yeah, and she's got those falsetto vocals, and she's just.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Because her voice, I mean, you're like you said earlier, her voice is the defining part of this band.
Oh, for sure.
And the nice thing, she never holds back.
Yep.
Like she always is just balls to the wall, but it's not too much, in my opinion. Like I think she does it well. And for a female, I mean, she's got a solid lower register.
Yeah.
Like well controlled. Like it doesn't sound awkward because she's female and singing lower. And then she turns around and she just blasts these notes out.
Oh yeah, those highs are crazy.
Yeah.
She has a little, enough grit on her voice too to be a little almost growly.
Yeah, which fits in with the like trashy guitar and the like the heaviness. Sometimes you get female-led rock bands and you get like this really clean high voice and this heavy music, and it kind of like clashes.
Yeah,
and she's really able to like adjust her vocals. You know, this song, I will say, I could see why this song wouldn't make the cut.
Yeah.
I would probably put this one as the last track in my opinion. We actually didn't talk about it. I don't even know if we're gonna do sleepers. It's hard when you got 5 songs. You got to pick 3 of them.
Yeah, I mean we could do favorite and least favorite.
I think that's
leave
it.
At that.
Yeah, I think that's it. And I think I would say this is my least favorite.
Okay.
I like the opening. I think it's a little slow. It becomes a little monotonous.
They keep bringing that back.
A guitar solo. Yeah, a guitar solo would have been cool to change that song up or something.
Yeah.
And then this next one, Blue Eyes.
Yeah.
This one might be my favorite.
Yeah?
I just really like this song. It's got that nice fast-paced drum opening, kind of get the crowd clapping.
This sounds like, or at least that guitar part was like, dun, dun, dun. It sounds like Queens of the Stone Age almost.
Yes, it does actually.
Like,
You're
what's
right.
that song? No One Knows.
No One Knows.
Yeah.
Dave Grohl on drums.
Yep.
And,
yeah.
The fucking deer
Yep.
in the video the whole time.
Oh, I haven't seen that video.
You know what it is? I like she's got a cleaner high register here. She's singing more than she is like grunging and growling.
Yeah.
I think I like that the song's a little cleaner with the guitar and all that. It's a little more upbeat. She hits that little falsetto right there. And it's funny because if she didn't want a falsetto, she could hit that note.
Exactly, yeah.
But it would have
been louder. And
exactly.
We want to start off a little bit more hushed and then build it up slowly. So she
and I love the chorus. Hello. They got the little harmonies in the background, which are pretty good for a live recording.
It's true, yeah.
You know, like they're on key, they're doing their thing. I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you expect it to be to be rough.
Yeah.
You know, and I think though, pulling just the quality. This is a song I would have loved to have heard off their debut, even as a bonus track.
Yeah. It's not as crazy and like heavy as all the other tracks, but it still has that style to it where it's clean. It doesn't step too far. Like it's not overbearing.
Nope.
It's where I feel like some of the tracks might have been. Because I mean, I've heard you guys talk about Halestorm all the time. I've never gotten into them as much.
Yep.
So it's interesting to start with like a full listen as it was like before their debut, because there's so many times where we will listen to an album that we love by an artist that we love, but it's either their newer one or our personal favorite. I know Joe did that with Dream Theater. I did that with Tyler, Creator.
Yep.
So it's interesting to start at the beginning and then slowly build up from an artist that you love.
Yeah, so I have a friend and we share a lot of music, and what'll happen is one of us, me or her, will hear a song or a song that leads us to listen to an album. And if we really like that album, what we tend to do is over the next like week, separately, the two of us will go back to album 1 and we'll listen down the line all their albums in a row.
Oh, okay.
And like as we finish an album, like text each other and be like, so what about that one? What'd you think? And we go back and forth.
That's cool.
You know, because even with these guys, this EP to their debut, a lot more refined. Obviously, they only took the main "It's Not You" song, but still heavy, still rock. As their albums progressed to their more recent ones, they definitely got a little bit more mainstream. Didn't lose their edge, but just got a little more mainstream. You started healing some more ballads.
Yeah.
You know, she started off at 5 years old as a pianist. So,
yeah, I saw that.
You know, so you can see, I mean, their early shows, I've seen videos and pictures where a gig's over and she always plays a white, I want to say it was a Les Paul, but either way, she's always got a white guitar and it's all red.
Okay.
Because she cut her hand playing and there's just blood all over the guitar.
Oh, that's cool.
So it is. Let me see if I can find the picture.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wow.
Like she cut one of her fingers and just kept playing, and you could see the blood. But then down here you can see a picture of her playing the white Explorer. So she plays all those, you know, different style guitars. You know, the big white. I don't even know. It looks like a Dean.
Yeah.
You know, playing the Dean there.
Okay.
So always white though. Here's the, you know. Always a white guitar for her, which I think is really cool. I've always liked white guitars. So yeah, that's her custom Lizzie Hale Gibson Explorer, white with the gold pick guard.
Okay.
So that's kind of cool how she has like her own stuff going on that she always plays. But anyway, yeah. And then this last song it goes on to
Takes My Life.
Yeah, again, not a bad song.
I like this one.
You know, cool way to end an album.
Yeah.
Or end a show, I guess we should say.
Yeah, because it was only a 20-minute show. It must have been. Was it an opening set for someone? Because they weren't like as big at the time.
Well, because they were only. I was playing or watching Shinedown, and they were the opener. And by opener, not like the band before Shinedown, like 3 bands before Shinedown, first band on the bill.
Okay.
You know, so those guys usually do. They play 20 minutes. You know, they play 5 songs. They get out there, and I'm pretty sure they played this set when I saw them.
Yeah.
I don't know for a fact, but this was the only EP they had. They were selling it. I'm pretty sure this was the set list they were playing, which is pretty cool.
I think this is my favorite.
Okay.
I really like this.
It is a good song.
It's very structurally built well.
Yep.
The solo in it is pretty good because there's not that many. I mean, there's like a couple, but I mean.
But they have in their albums, they have solos, like they throw them in there. So it is interesting that they didn't have it. Like I told you, I think Show Me could have used a guitar solo to break it up. Yeah.
And then like in the second half where she just kind of starts vocally going off with this guitar solo, that's my favorite part. Like right in that last third, she hits that really nice screamed
right
part.
There, I got it.
And she does it even more on the second one, and you're like, holy shit, you can do that? Like that as a vocalist, that's extremely impressive.
Oh yeah.
Like I'm very jealous of that. And then to go back and then continue singing pretty well.
Like normal.
Yeah. As if it didn't even happen. It's like, how are you going to just go past that?
Yeah, she is a unbelievable vocalist.
Yeah.
I wish, like I said, as a band, they stuck a little more to this kind of style. But, you know, money talks.
Yep.
And, you know, you're going to do what you got to do. And as they moved later into their career, they definitely became a little bit more, you know, you're hearing them more on the radio. More people are knowing who Halestorm is.
Yeah, they have a fair bit of streams on Spotify.
Yeah.
All their like top songs have over 10 million plays.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I believe
107 million.
They, you know, they said they're known for their near nonstop touring. They're playing often perform as many as 250 shows a year.
Wow.
Yeah. You know, they're with all the main bands: Stain, Chevelle, Papa Roach, Trapped. You know, Buckcherry, In This Moment, Shinedown, Stone Sour. I actually saw them open for Stone Sour.
Cool.
Later on, so they were like the band before Stone Sour.
Okay.
But they've done well. I mean, awards and nominations alone. I mean, they have in 2013 and 19, they won Best Metal Rock Performance in 2013 for Love Bites.
Okay.
And then they were for Uncomfortable. They were nominated in 2019.
Okay.
So imagine going from exactly what we just listened to Grammy nominated. Like that's
that's a good jump.
That's huge.
Yeah, especially
awesome.
for them. Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, they're and RJ. Not to push everything towards Lizzie because she is the main But RJ is a great drummer. And live, he does these big solos, and he's got a cymbal above his head that he throws up. He's got the gong off on the side. And he even came out a couple times with drumsticks that were probably about 3 or 4 feet long and about, you know, Jesus Christ, probably 5 inches around. And they were giant, and he would play like a solo with these giant drumsticks.
Cool.
And he goes into the, like Animal, starts yelling stuff, and it's really, really cool to watch him play because he's just a very flashy but good drummer.
Okay.
They have a great live performance.
I was gonna say, I feel like they're a little bit better live.
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah, it's one of those albums you can picture yourself being in front of, the whole crowd.
Well, again, when you're listening to that, like you gotta set the scene of you're at the Webster, so you're at a tiny little 1,000-person hall, and you're in this just giant general admission crowd pit at 16 years old, 17 years old, listening to that.
Yeah.
As like a young person who is like into music and playing, and like it was just, and then you get to meet them and get their autographs. Like, it was just a really cool.
Yeah.
It makes this album better than what it really probably is.
Yeah. Yeah. Paired with that kind of memory, I feel like that would be an interesting thing.
Which is part of why I brought in 𝙃𝙃𝙀𝙀, because again, it's a good double IPA, but the experience of I actually went there and we just went there and got it, and it was kind of a very very experience driven episode.
Yes. You're really bringing out some memories. That's it. It's only 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Quick in and out. If it's not your thing, it's not gonna overstay your welcome too much.
No. And you know what? With this beer, I like 𝙃𝙃𝙀𝙀. It's a very good double IPA.
Okay.
The one thing I will say is because of its strong hoppy flavor, it is definitely more of a, one or two, and I need to move on type of beer. I can't drink these all day. No. Plus they're 8%.
Yeah.
But I mean, I do enjoy it. I think it's a really well made beer. The venue was cool. The couple other beers that I tried while I was up there were very good. And it's definitely a place you go and enjoy. Sit back, enjoy a 𝙃𝙃𝙀𝙀, looking at the mountains. It's a really cool experience to be there.
Yeah, I would definitely be interested in trying that out, or at least going up there sometime.
Yeah, there's plenty to do, which is really cool. Small little town and a ton to do. So
cool.
All right, let's
talk
a little ratings.
Yeah, so for the ratings on this, I guess we're just gonna do top and bottom track because it's only 5 tracks. There's not really a lot you can pick from that.
Yep. I'm cool with that.
I guess I'll start with my favorite. I just mentioned it's Takes My Life. I really like, especially in this kind of style of rock, when they do go just all crazy and start screaming really heavily. That's what kind of resonates with me the most. So when she does that on the latter half, that combined with she's very melodic and plays with the solo a little bit.
Yeah.
Not as much as that Sublime song you didn't like.
That was tough.
But she does that well, and her range of singing is so great, and the accompaniment does follow suit pretty well with that. So I would say Takes My Life is probably my favorite.
Nice. Yeah, I like Blue Eyes.
Okay.
I don't know, maybe it's because I have blue eyes. Could be it.
Oh yeah,
little, maybe it's about me.
Yeah, I think they did. I think they wrote it about 16-year-old Mike.
When I gave her a hug. She did hug me.
Did she look you in the eyes?
Probably.
It's maybe. We'll contact her. People.
I did like Blue Eyes. I thought it was a very energetic song. It was like a fun song. It was just a change of pace from a lot of the other things, especially coming right after Show Me, which was a very like kind of slow, little more of a drag, like monotonous song, and then all of a sudden Blue Eyes comes in with that nice little upbeat and like a little cleaner on the guitar, and I really like that song. I like the lyrics. I like her vocals in it. I thought she sang really well. And then to say my bottom track would probably be Show Me. I don't think it was a bad song. I just think it was missing something. It dragged. It never really had that like defining moment in it, like, oh, that was a great guitar solo. I think the one part that stood out was that kind of falsetto vocal she does at the beginning. But like you said, she almost brought it back too many times.
That's
like, it could have been a cool opener and then maybe even a close, or be just the opener and then move on.
I think I'd agree. Pretty much the exact same things you said. That we're like, she brought it back a bit too much. But I mean, as its own track, it's fine. It's not my thing, really. But I mean, I understand why they put it on something like this. But I understand why it's not on the album at the same time.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I would say The Hand and Show Me. I could understand why those didn't make the cut. But Takes My Life and Blue Eyes, I thought should have made the cut with It's Not You. But
it is.
We don't get paid for this.
That's true, we don't.
So, and if we did, maybe we'd have a different opinion.
No.
So overall, I mean, if we're rating the album out of 10, I mean the EP, what's the exact difference?
So I guess EP is it's called an electronic purchase.
Okay.
So it came into vogue usually around like late 2000s, kind of when iTunes Store came about a thing. I remember the first one that I ever saw was a Weird Al one.
Oh, okay.
That had a bunch of like songs that he never put onto albums. So I think it's just like tracks by artists that they don't want to put on an album because it may be conceptual or it's not their favorite track or doesn't fit certainly in there somewhere.
Now, does it have to be short? I mean,
I would assume
haven't
so.
people say like there's full-length EPs? Like, are those like 10-song EPs? Is that a thing?
Usually they try to keep them shorter.
Usually like 5 or 6 songs, right?
Yeah,
Sometimes even 3.
Nothing more than like 35 minutes, I would say.
Yeah.
But there's no real straight-on definition. That's
Gotcha. Okay.
I mean, if you're putting out 13-track, hour 15 EPs, like that's not really a thing. So
now it's weird. Like if it stands for electronic purchase,
yeah,
you would think it would only be electronic, but it's not.
Yeah,
it's like it's a weird name.
I'm assuming they kind of switched it around later. I don't know if they called it an EP. Did they call it an EP when you bought it? Because it was on a CD.
I think it's on a CD and it's just called One and Done.
Yeah, it wasn't.
So
you didn't know it as an EP,
defined.
right?
Extended play.
Is that what it is?
That's what it is.
I always thought it was electronic purchase.
No, so now we're extended play. So let's completely go back.
Oh,
this
wow.
article is about the audio format, extended play. Okay, extended play record, or referred to as an EP, is a musical recording that contains more tracks than a single, but fewer than an album, an LP.
Oh, that makes more
Temporary
sense.
EPs generally contain 4 or 5 tracks and are considered less expensive and time-consuming to record and produce. All right. Yep. So it got transferred over into CDs and on downloads as well. So basically, it's an extended play single. So a single usually has 2-3 songs on it.
Yeah.
Like if they were to release like a single.
Extended play. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
that makes more
between
sense.
EP and an album, classification's at about 25 minutes of maximum length, give or take.
Okay.
No more than 4 tracks. Okay. So, yeah. So that's what that is. So we can turn ourselves around now.
Yeah. So
back on track. We have a little.
Exactly. Extended play, not electronic purchase. My bad. I don't know where that came from.
I have no idea either.
Anyway.
I guess that's what we get for not doing that research beforehand.
Exactly. Yeah. We're very much on the spot kind of podcast.
That's what makes it real.
Exactly. So you wanna give it your rating?
Yeah. So again, the first thing I said to you was the fact that the quality of the recording, it was not good. It sounded like something we could have recorded at a live show.
Yeah.
And that's fine, because to be honest with you, at this moment in their career, that's what they were.
Yeah.
So that for me wasn't really a big deal. And then the what's the word I want to use? The memory portion, the experience portion of seeing literally this set list more or less live, meeting them, purchasing the EP, getting the signatures, getting the hug. And then this was my only Halestorm media from 2006 to 2009. If I wanted to listen to Halestorm, I had to listen to these 5 songs. So I got to know these 5 songs very, very well.
Yep.
At 20 minutes, I was probably listening to this 3 times a day. You know what I mean? Like it was just going.
Just press play again.
If you look at the CD cover, and maybe we could post a picture of this with it on like Instagram or something, it's all like scratched in the plastic. You almost can't see the cover through the plastic cover.
Yeah.
It's like just from being brought places in the car and, because you had to bring it everywhere.
Yeah, for the cover of this, you might want to take the jewel case off.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
when we take the
just have
picture, we're going to have to.
Yeah.
But it will be cool when we post this episode on Facebook and all of that. The EP cover will be the original cover I purchased from them with their signatures on it, which I think will be cool.
That is really cool. Yeah.
I'm gonna give it an 8.
Wow.
I'm gonna give it 7.5, 8.
Sure.
I'm like floating right there. Most of it for the experience.
Okay.
Not the quality, but I do think that it has for 5 songs, having at least 3 solid songs is pretty good for a band that's coming out of nowhere at this point in time.
Okay.
I think I've seen them 5 or 6 times live. I'd go and see them again.
Okay.
It's just very nostalgic for me right here.
Cool. Yeah. So on the flip side of that, I have little to no experience with Halestorm.
It's true.
I've heard you guys mention them a lot. I've always been interested to do a deeper dive into them.
Okay.
Because it seems like they do have a large following. It says on here they have 2.2 million monthly listeners, so they do have a big following online. But I've never listened to a full album. Really never listened to like their big singles either.
Okay.
So this is my, I don't want to say first experience, because I think I've heard a Halestorm song or two before. I'm sure you've played them around here before. But this is my first like full listen to it, so I have no experience with them. So I don't have that kind of background thing that you have. It's only 20 minutes though. It's not crazy long. 2006, so it's not going to be like really well produced live music. So I did like a couple of tracks. I think I really like enjoyed heavily 2 out of like the 5, so I think I'm gonna sit around a 4.
Okay.
I think that's maybe about 4.5, just because I haven't really gotten that full experience yet. I would like to though, because they from what I heard, you know, she is very unique vocalist. The rest of the band does seem like they're very connected and well versed in that kind of music. But it specifically for this, mixing was kind of rough. Recording was a little bit rough. But you know, like you said, they didn't even have an album out yet, so it makes sense why it was a little bit rough. So that's probably where I'm sitting for that. Probably about a 4.5, somewhere around there.
And you know what? I kind of had a feeling going into this that you would be lower, especially as you're being younger. Yeah. Like, and again, not experiencing this live.
Yeah,
like
I was
being younger
9 when this came out.
You know, and your background in the audio engineering portion, that I knew right away was going to be. That's why I gave you a little bit of a I wanted to say like almost a heads up.
Yeah, I mean I've heard much worse.
Oh yeah.
But yeah.
Like, but you can hear that even their guitar tones aren't refined. Yeah. You know they.
It could be much worse. Like it could just be like crackling and fizzing everywhere and like unable to even comprehend what they're saying.
Yeah, but I kind of knew going into this that it would probably be a little lower for you, which is fine. I mean, that's how this works.
Yeah. Plus the style of music I'm not necessarily into as much. I feel like, because
which is why I think if you listen to more of their mainstream kind of like their first album, second album, third album kind of deal, it's a little bit lighter, like I don't want to say lighter, but more mainstream style of recording, kind of like Shinedown's gotten over the years. Yep. They've gotten a lot more mainstream and you know, airplay on those regular, you know, 101.3 or whatever the fuck they are now, and so they're kind of following the same suit as them with that. I think you probably would get into more of that. Okay. This was definitely much heavier than what they turned out to be.
Yeah.
You know,
I could see where they would open for Shinedown.
Yeah, it was great, unbelievable. Yeah. That was my first time seeing Shinedown too. Oh, cool. But I'd listened to a lot of their stuff, but it was my first time seeing them. I just saw them twice that year. Oh, cool. Webster, in like May or June, and then I saw him again in October at Toad's place. Oh, wow. That was awesome.
Nice.
Yep, that was awesome. So, Hetty Topper.
Hetty Topper, yeah.
The big famous Hetty Topper from Alchemist in Stowe, Vermont. You know, right near Mount Mansfield, highest peak in the state. Yep. And cool venue, cool place. Solid double IPA. Very hoppy. If you're into hoppy beer, great. If you're not, you will not enjoy this beer, because that's really the main flavor you get is the hoppy. Yes. I'm good for 1, maybe 2 of these at a time, and then I got to move on. Yeah. They are higher, 8%, but it's a well-made double IPA. Yep. You know, personally, I'm going to sit around a 7. Okay. I think it's, you know, definitely a well-made beer. Not my favorite though. Yeah. And not one that I'm going to drink a lot of. Yep. So, you know, I'm sitting at a 7. Nice.
They definitely tell you what kind of beer you're going to get out of it. Yes. It is very heady with their hops. It's very much you know what you're going to get out of it. And for me personally, the very, very strong hop tastes is a little bit of an off-put for me. So, and the fact that it's double too doesn't really try to mask anything with it too much. Yep. So it's a very, very strong beer.
Yeah. Thanks.
So, and for the fact we're recording this before noon might not be helping. But, yeah, it wasn't for me. I'm probably going to sit around a 3 or so.
Okay.
But, I mean, it's not the fact that they try to, like, fool you a little bit.
No,
or they
it's just
try
not
to, like,
your type of beer.
they didn't market it as, like, something that, you know, everyone can go for.
They literally tell you right on there what it's going to be.
The guy's face on the cover is literally exploding with hops going out in the back.
Yep.
So,
you know, they're one of those breweries, too. They don't make a ton of beers.
Mm-hmm.
They really focus on their craft with these couple.
Yeah.
And one thing I will say, too, is this is definitely a beer that the colder it is, the better it is.
Yeah. If you drink this warm,
it's not going to be good. And they actually tell you, when we bought them, they came out cold. We bought a case, me and Trevor, and they literally said to you, these have to stay cold.
Yeah.
So they were like, if you don't have a cooler with ice, you should stop at a gas station and get a cooler with ice for the ride home. Luckily, I had a cooler. We fit 24... We managed to fit 24 16-ounce cans in my lunchbox.
Wow.
It was like Tetris. And we didn't have ice for them, but we're like, as long as they're in the lunchbox, they should stay cold amongst each other. It wasn't super hot out. We were driving, only a couple of hours. Okay. And they did. They stayed cold, and you could tell they stayed good. But they really push that if this beer gets warm, then it's not the best.
Yeah.
So,
good.
All right.
Yeah. A little bit on the shorter side, although it's still closer to an hour.
EP miniseries.
Exactly, yeah.
Episode 1.
Yep.
Not bad.
There we go. And then we're transitioning right over into the next episode. This is, 46?
46,
something like that.
Yep.
This is my EP, though it's technically an album.
I saw that.
Yeah, I'll explain that later. Okay. By Kanye West and Kid Cudi. This is our first Kanye experience on the show. It's called... Kids See Ghosts.
Yes.
They formed their own group in 2018 to do that, and they self-titled it Kids See Ghosts. So it's one of my favorite albums. Well, technically shorter EPs, but whatever.
Yeah.
And then to pair with that, I have chosen 𝙃𝙚𝙖𝙙𝙾 Ale from Rogue Brewery, somewhere in Oregon, I believe.
Yeah, I've heard Rogue before.
Yeah.
And but I've never had that beer, so I'm curious.
Gonna be honest, pulled it off the shelf at Big Y, so
let's do it.
Wanted to see something that matched with the theme, so
yeah, I like that. It's good. Kids See Ghosts and 𝙃𝙚𝙖𝙾 Ale.
Exactly, yeah. So we'll see how well that pairs together. But cool, yeah. Nice little fun mini EP series.
It was good.
Let's keep it going.
We missed you, Joe Sod.
Yes.
Hope you're doing well, and we'll have you back on here soon.
We will. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
So
we miss you.
Hops, R.I.P. Hops and Bops podcast on Facebook and Instagram. We're streaming live on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and I've been updating the YouTube as of recently.
I like it.
So we will have. I know there's a bit of a lapse in that, but we will have everything uploaded there in the as of the end of this month. So be sure to check that out. So
you did a good job at that, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Because Joe usually got that nailed.
I know, right?
So you did a good job.
I kind of picked that one up on the spot.
No, that was good because I wasn't going to do it.
So for Mike, I'm Tom, and we'll see you next time.
Peace.